Hello, everyone. Welcome to Travel Massive. We are live from Uganda, the Pearl of Africa, and we would like to thank everyone for joining us from all parts of the world. Thank you so much for joining us. And my name is Rosette Dekul. I'm the chapter leader, Travel Massive Uganda, and founder, Adventures with Locals Uganda. Today, I'll be moderating this event together with Hannah Bamwerinde. Please, Hannah, tell us about yourself. Thank you.
Yes, welcome once again. The warmest welcome and cyber hugs from wherever you are in the world watching us. Thank you for coming on. So, greetings from the land of the Highland gorillas. You know, Uganda is the home of the Highland gorillas. And just to remind you, our event is live on Facebook, the webs, as well as the Uganda Travel Massive Facebook page, as well as the Travel Massive website. If you would like to donate to the event as well, you can also donate on the Travel Massive page. And there will be an opportunity for you to chat with us later. So definitely we'll use the chat section for that if you have any comments or if you'd love to chat with us. And so we shall head right in, and we hope that by the end of this event, you shall have a little insight of Africa. We know 1 hour is a short period of time, but at least I hope we shall give you the situation, or you will be able to understand the situation that is happening within Africa right now. Rosette, head on and carry on.
I'll go straight ahead and introduce our panelists briefly. And I'll start with Gloria. Gloria is the CEO, Association of Uganda Tour Operators, and she's a passionate advocate for responsible tourism. We have Amina. Amina is a photographer, a teacher, travel blogger, and founder Triple F Photo Tours. We have Seth. He's an African tourism hospitality guru and managing director, Neza Safaris. We have Patience, an experienced promotions officer, Zambia Tourism. And we're supposed to have Fuad Peters. Maybe he joins us later. He's a director, Cape Tourism Connect. So without further ado, we will continue straight to our event, to our discussion. We will start with Seth. If we can have Seth, please introduce yourself briefly. And hi, Seth. Good to have you.
Hi, Rosette. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, welcome. You are going to, we're going to have to ask you to tell us briefly about yourself, and then we head straight into the question of how COVID-19 has impacted you and your businesses. Then after the 3 minutes, we go ahead with the rest of the panelists. Thank you. You can start.
Thank you, Rosette. Thank you for having me. Greetings, everybody from Paris. The weather is so nice. I mean, the sun is a little bit. Yeah, as you said, my name is Seth Butera. I am a Rwandan. I'm a tourism scholar because I'm still pursuing my studies in tourism, and I'm an entrepreneur in tourism as I own and operate a tour company in Neza Safaris. And yeah, I don't know if from the introduction I should tell you more about who I am, or go ahead and tell me.
That's good enough.
Good.
Yeah, so you can tell us, we'll have everyone discuss the same question. We're going straight with question number one, how COVID-19 has impacted you and your businesses, whether in France, in Africa, in Rwanda, in Uganda. Feel free to share with us.
Good, thank you. Basically, to everyone's eye, tourism has been the most hit sector in the entire world. I think, if I believe, because without movement, without people moving from one place to another, there is no tourism. Much as we know we can focus on other types of tourism, but it has been hit. Personally, yes, it's not been an easy ride. It's not been an easy ride. We agree bottom. So we've been really hit, and And yeah, I personally, well, matters have not gotten a big number of cancellations, but yes, a lot of my clients postponed their travels to any time open in the near future when we don't know when. Because I had to be as flexible as that to allow people to because refunding could be a little bit harder. But when we say we postpone and we leave the gap open until when someone gets up and say, okay, now it's safe, I can travel. So that's how hard we've been, and that's how hit we've been. But we are still positive. We are still looking forward to something positive coming up soon, and then yeah, as we recover. Rosette?
Thank you, Seth. Thank you so much. Now we'll go next to Gloria. Yes, Gloria, good to have you again. And please tell us about yourself briefly and how COVID-19 has impacted you and your businesses. We want to keep the discussion going. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Rosette. I'm glad to be part of this event, and I really appreciate the Travel Massive team for having us and being able to listen to what we have and what we are going through as a country. Gloria Tumwesje, like you've already introduced me, and I work with the Association of Uganda Tour Operators. We bring together over 300 professional safari companies that serve in terms of tourism and with a wide range of packages for visitors that are willing to visit our country, Uganda. So in the wake of COVID, we've really been here trying to support our membership and to be able to prepare ourselves for what is coming up in future. So I think so far so good, there is hope. Or as tourism bounces back. So we really have hope, and we are sure that tourism will bounce back as soon as possible. For the intro part, I think that's enough, Rosette.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Gloria. And to our dear listeners and the audience, if anyone has a question, please feel free to write in the comment section. We'll be able to attend to the questions at the end of the event. Thank you. So we will have next Amina. You're welcome, Amina.
Good
again.
morning. Thank you. Thank you for having me here. So I'm the only one that's not in Africa. I'm Canadian. I live full-time in Canada, but I lead a photography tour to Uganda. And I combine that with teaching photography to local girls studying to be journalists, also in Uganda. So we do that as a 2-in-1 approach. So COVID really kicked us in the butt because I was supposed to be in Uganda in August for our third photography tour, as well as the girls training. And when we realized that it was not going to happen, we quickly pivoted, and now we're doing the photography training, at least online. And so it was sort of, you know, when we came to March, we shut down and the world was looking a little bit bleak. And then I kept on keeping in touch with my peoples in Uganda. And, you know, we all felt this despondency about what happened. But when you're in a developing country versus where we live in Canada, you don't feel, you have to realize what you have versus what you don't have. And it kept on hurting me deeply to see how you guys were really struggling in Uganda and continue to struggle. So our goal now is to look at our partners on the ground and see how we can support in rebuilding during this time. Instead of looking at it as glass, you know, half empty, we're looking at it as glass half full. So that's at least how we try to explain it in Canada. So it did affect us tremendously. All of our bookings were canceled. However, while they were canceled, there's people who are still keen on coming and seeing the beauty of Uganda and meeting the girls and participating in the training that I do with the photography training for these girls who are studying to be journalists. So you can learn more about that aside, because it's only 3 minutes. But we're hopeful that things will turn around in time. So thank you for letting me share.
Thank you so much. Definitely things will get better. And
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Amina, for sharing, and thank you for doing such great work for Uganda and for my sisters here. We really appreciate that.
I'll just add one thing, that I'm originally from Uganda, and this is, it's home for me. So even though I live in Canada, Uganda is home.
Uganda will always be home to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you. Next we have
Hello. Good afternoon. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, Patience. Good to have you here.
Thank you, Rosetta. Thank you for the invitations. I'm so glad to be here. I feel like I'm in Uganda, and I feel like I've visited other countries as well. It's good to see everyone.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. Thank you so much for putting this up.
Yeah, so we would like to hear you tell us about yourself in the 3 minutes, and then tell us about how COVID-19 has impacted you and your businesses in Zambia. So I'm sure the audience would love to know that, how it is going in Zambia. Thank you.
Okay, so as Rosetta has introduced me, my name is Patience Tropo. I'm Zambian. I work for the Zambia Tourism Agency as a tourism promotions officer, and I'm also Travel Massive Lusaka chapter leader. Yes. So I've got vast experience in the tourism industry, both from the travel and hospitality industry. Yes. Okay, so I'm sure everyone has already said about the impact of the COVID-19, how it just affected the business. It's everywhere worldwide. So it caused a total disruption. It's like one thing, you wake up and you just see your flights are canceled, this thing is canceled, just cancellation of a program. So we had a lot of cancellation of holidays, business closing down. Yeah, but at least now when we look up, we can see like it's slowly going down, like even the regulations, because other countries had put on a lot of regulations, lockdowns, but now globally it's slowly easing up. With like Zambia, we are now open. We are open for travel, and we are safe for travel. Everyone is welcome whilst following all the guidelines for the health guidelines. Yes, and as long as you've got a PCR test negative for COVID-19, you're welcome to Zambia. Yes, but it really caused COVID-19 really affected our businesses. Most hotels that closed down, and people had lost some jobs. Yes, yeah. But we are glad that now we are slowly getting back. We are slowly starting tourism. Yes, I think that's all.
Thank you so much, Patience, for sharing. And I'm glad you feel home in Uganda, though you haven't come yet, but you're of course welcome, and I look forward to visiting Zambia as well, as long as you don't take me through the 14 days of quarantine.
No, we've stopped them. Okay, so like I said, Zambia is safe for travel. We've put in the safety protocols. They were launched on 4th September. So the safety protocols, as long every visitor is welcome to visit Zambia, provided you come with a test negative certificate for COVID-19. You are welcome in Zambia, and you won't be put in quarantine. Yeah, so it's safe to travel, and we've been approved, certified, safe to travel. Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you again, everyone. And now we have Hannah take us through the second question, and carry on.
Thank you, Rosette, once again. Thank you for that. And at least in Uganda, we have learned that at the beginning of October, we shall be opening the airport. So it's good news for a lot of tour operators in Uganda, as well as people who would want to come to Uganda. And of course, a lot of tour operators are also learning a lot of safety procedures and are also going to be taking precautions when they will be receiving a lot of clients. But we still have some issues where it comes to regulations and government intervention. So I would like to ask the panelists again, how can tour operators influence the supply chain to be more sustainable within this climate? And I'll start with Amina, if you could probably give us some insight on what you think that they can do to probably change the situation.
So to answer one part of the question is, we in Canada can't travel yet. So when I'm looking towards offering my tours, I'm working with Rebenzori Safaris, who's my local partner, and so we're not jumping full in, because we want to make sure that everybody stays safe, whether they're coming from Canada, whether they're in Uganda. It doesn't mean that everything is open, that you go full on and start visiting the parks. You start visiting and staying in hotels. We have to take everything slow to keep safety forefront. The other thing we want to make sure is that during COVID, I've been reading and hearing about wonderful things happening in Uganda, such as the gorillas have been rebounding, and more babies have been born. The land has been sort of cleaned up and regrowing, because there's less people on the land coming and impacting that. People have been looking for other ways to promote themselves with their crafts and their arts. So we are all about not just bringing people to Uganda to see, the safaris and the gorillas and everything else. That we're really into enabling our visitors to see how the locals live, how life on the other side of the world truly exists, and getting involved with local community, and how can we support local communities. So this is what the work that we do in teaching photography to other girls is all about. How do we make an impact in another country that is sustainable? Not necessarily environmentally sustainable, but economically sustainable. And the other thing that we're big on is when we put out a survey to our travelers, they were very interested in not only to see how locals live, but how do they leave a positive footprint on where they travel to. And so we ensure that we leave a place cleaner than we visited it, or the same. We don't leave garbage behind. Where you travel to many places and people are free to, during COVID, I've noticed even in Canada, people have forgotten what a garbage can looks like. And it's so sad that, this is our land. This is so important. So take care of what we do have for generations to come. And so it's part of what we're all about. And I believe that that's how you can be sustainable in traveling, especially now when cleanliness has to be at forefront. So we're also, as I said, going slow. I'm having my tour operator, Venix, make videos of all the places that we'll visit, so people can get an idea of what Uganda is all about, what it looks like, what they'll be visiting, and how the ecology is all about. So I'm hoping that answers your question.
Yes, Amina, thank you so much for that insight. It truly does help. And definitely what you said about being able to, even during this COVID period, being able to still be taking part of sustainable tourism is really important for Africa right now. Absolutely. And yes, and now next, I'm going to bring on Gloria, who is once again, I will introduce her. She's the chairperson at Association of Tour Operators, and she's also big in sustainability. So I would really want to know, how can tour operators deal with this during this period of time?
Thank you, Hannah. How tour operators can influence the supply chain. One of the things we can talk about, since I'm a sustainability advocate, I look at this as a positive and learning period for all of us, because we need to reinvent the wheel and do things in a different way other than the way we have been doing them. And some of the things we can leverage on in order to change and make really a future that is more sustainable. Because why I'm saying this is because we carried out a survey of our membership at the beginning of the pandemic, and we realized that within the first 3 months, companies were about 80% thought they would be closing shop. Now it's 6 months down the road. What do you think is happening at the moment? It must be crazy. And this is one of the challenges we are facing because we do not plan and look ahead. Nobody anticipated that COVID would be here, but here it is. So we need to reinvent, think afresh, and do things in a better way. And some of the actionable things we can do are like reducing the usage of paper in the office. If you're printing a document, why not print back and forth so that you save that extra paper for future usage? And at the end of the day, you're saving the environment at the same time. Other things you can do is reducing on energy consumption. For instance, I have a habit of switching off lights while I'm working in people's offices. You find that there is a very well lit office, but the lights are on. Why? We need to conserve this energy because there are people out there that do not have access. Water, there is water being wasted here and there. These are some of the very actionable points that we can take on and be able to leverage on what is coming ahead of us. Right now, we are in the learning period. So hopefully once we bounce back and take on some of these things, we are able to survive as companies. I look at companies having to change their mission statements, establishing sustainability policies, having staff that are sustainability managers that can really guide the programs of the organization, guide the visitors on how to be able to visit a country and leave it better than they found it, other than damaging or causing hazards during their visit. So at the end of the day, if we do not follow certain policies, we are never going to be able to survive. But the positive thing is that we've seen tourism bouncing back every time we have a very bad, like the other, some years back we had SARS and tourism was hit really bad. But we were able to bounce back because tourism is what makes us. It's a very exciting kind of business we are doing. We make people happy, we get people on holidays, families together, and things like that. So I have very much hope that we are able to bounce back. How much time it will take, I do not know. But right now, we need to sit, plan, and foresee positivity in the future and the years to come. Thank you, Hannah.
Thank you so much, Gloria, for that. And thank you for the insight. And definitely, I don't know if I can promise that I will be following those guidelines of only printing on the back and the side and removing lights. I do not know if I will be able to do that, but I have learned at least that about conservation today. I'm bringing on Seth from France, though he's from France and he operates in Rwanda. We would like to know, what insight do you have for the times? How can we keep the sustainability going during these times where the government policy is not also in line with what we want it to be?
Thank you, Anna. Thank you. I want to echo first what Gloria said earlier on. I think this is it is a good time to benchmark, to reinvent the wheel, to see how better can we be. I was talking to a number of people the other day. We were looking at before I answer your question, we were looking at the vulnerability of the tourism industry, of the sector. If 3 months down the road, if from January up to March, some companies are closed, people are off their payroll, people don't have jobs, people don't have, that shows us how our industry is more vulnerable to these minor changes, and then we should prepare for bigger things more than COVID. So coming back to your question, Hannah, how can tour operators influence the supply chain for more sustainable tourism? I think we it's more or less what the others said, But practically now, as a tour operator, how can I leverage on these challenges of COVID to create a more sustainable tourism ahead of me? I want to focus more on the role of tour operators in selling, purchasing, and packaging local. Well, I know it is still a little bit of a mystery because it ranges back from the mindset of our markets, our people around us. But it starts with one step. If one tour operator focuses, and this takes me to another point of saying, before I sell to my local people, before I target the market that I've not been targeting before, I need to customize their expectations. They have different expectations. They have different understanding. Well, if you've been having trips of international tourists that all year round, now you don't have 1, 2, 3. So are you going to close office? Are you going to not want to do anything? But I am thinking about how about we reinvent the wheel, as Gloria said. We look into our packaging models. We see what is fit for our domestic market. Of course, we keep our other market as well. We promote our local. We sell our local products. We add more information about our local product because, trust me, a lot of our good stuff, our African attractions, are not well marketed. So I find this as the right time to focus on content as well. So how about these 5-6 months that we've been not moving to trade fairs in Dallas, trade fairs in where we're always on the plate? Can we utilize this time and now create more sustainable content? Content that's going to help our customers even be mindful of what is around them, be ecosystem mindful. So all those, I think this is the right time for tour operators to think and focus on what content, on what message they want to sell before the clients, as we wait for when the world opens fully to go back to our lives. Hannah.
Yes, thank you so much.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Seth, thank you so much for your insight. That is very great that you're telling us, because content creation is content creation, and it has been a bit of a challenge here in Uganda, especially the fact that people do not have equipment and are not very skilled in content creation and being able to maintain the marketing during this period of time. So I think that gives insight to also other tour operators that are online, who will definitely be taking time to also put more effort into content creation.
Yeah, use this time to really revisit what you've been studying, because a lot of us, including myself, we've done a lot of copy paste because Hannah has done it, David will do it, Jack will do it. But can we now look at more eco-friendly, ecosystem mindful content out there? The world is running so fast. We need to protect this world in terms of as tour operators. It is a major role that what you're packaging, what you're selling, leaves the mother nature safe.
Yes, thank you so much, Seth. And definitely, I hope that some tour operators are getting insight for that on how they will be able to sustain in content creation. And so I'm going to bring on Patience from Zimbabwe, and definitely she will be giving us insight on how it is going there and how we can also learn from what is going on. Patience, let us know what is going on in Zimbabwe and how we can maintain the supply chain.
Okay, thank you so much, Anna. Sorry, I need to correct you. I'm in Zambia. the home of the
sorry.
Victoria Falls. Yeah.
Okay, Zambia.
Yeah, no, it's all right. It's okay. But anyway, we're very close, and we share the same falls, but the larger part of the Victoria Falls is in Zambia, of course, and that's where you get a beautiful view. So I work for, like I earlier introduced myself, I work for Zambia Tourism Agency as a tourism promotions officer, and I'm a chapter leader for Travel Massive Lusaka. So as Zambia Tourism Agency, it's an agency mandated by government to market Zambia's tourism product, both local and internationally. So we're under the Ministry of Tourism, and we regulate also the industry. So this is a good question about how tour operators can influence the supply chain to operate on terms of sustainability. I agree with what everyone has said. Tour operators, I believe, can help raise consumer awareness on how they can, when they've got the bookings and when making the bookings, interact with the clients, they can educate the tourists, the travelers who they are making bookings for, about the local products that country has got to offer. Like here in Zambia, we're promoting local, domestic tourism, and we're encouraging people to buy local. When a visitor comes, we take them, we showcase them the various tourist attractions that we have, and we also share with them the experiences that the local people are doing. Maybe it can be also like sculpture making, curios. Yeah, so we want also the local people to benefit, you know, the local peoples, the local communities, to empower them as well. And when you look at accommodation, and restaurants, they're also empowering the local communities by buying freshly produced products from the local community. And these freshly produced products, they're healthy. And when you look at COVID, we're promoting a healthy lifestyles or sustainability. Let's eat healthy, let's eat something fresh from the garden, something which is freshly made from the garden, straight from the garden. So this is one of promoting the sustainability as well, and also empowering the local communities. So this is what we're believing, and this is what we're encouraging. And for now, like everyone has said, we don't know when the pandemic will end and how we're going to move forward. We'll try and focusing on the domestic market, domestic tourism, encouraging Zambians to travel, to explore the country, and yes, and we're hoping from domestic it will be regional tourism, yes. So so the money and everything, the income is made, and at least we can generate some income with that. Yeah. So it's more of domestic tourism. The tour operators, I agree with Seth, the tour operators about work to raise awareness to their consumers, and how the visitors also can learn and respect our different cultures. You know, Africa is rich, diverse in culture, and I know Uganda, but also different maybe culture. Here in Zambia, we've got 73 different tribes, and they all celebrate different traditional ceremonies. So to be part of that is an awesome experience. You get to learn different culture and appreciate that experience. Yeah. I think that's, unless there's something else.
Yes, thank you so much. And I can tell you, in terms of domestic tourism, I look forward to coming to Zambia very soon, because obviously, who wouldn't want to come? And I hope you will be supporting our regional domestic tourism as well, because I see it's a common thing, like taking care of locals and involving locals and doing domestic tourism across Africa, which is an important discussion as well. So right now, I will invite Rosette to take over the last session again as well, the last session of questions as well. And
thank you so much, Hannah. Hello, everyone again. Thank you so much, Hannah, for a great discussion with the panelists. We are very happy and proud to have everyone on board. We have people joining us from Ghana, from Tanzania, from South Africa, and the rest of the other countries across the world. You are all welcome. Thank you for joining us. We are very proud to have you all. And to everyone else watching us live, we are relaunching Travel Massive Chapter Uganda, and it's our first event. So we are very proud to have this happening. And today we are discussing restarting tourism in Uganda and in Africa at large. And this brings me now to our third question, to where we will have all the panelists again. And I'm going to start with Gloria, if I can have Gloria.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank you, Rosette.
Yes, good to have you again.
Okay.
I think that
Yeah,
is a bit of...
Are you getting me?
Yes, I am. I'm getting you. If you can please tell us in this last question, if you can tell us about, because we see that as the pandemic recedes in some industries, there's going to be strategies for us to prepare for tourism recovery. So what are the strategies that you have for us and the audience to learn from, and what are you doing as tour operators, as the head of tour operators? Please tell us about that.
Thank you, Rosette. This pandemic hit us unawares. And at the moment, we are trying to engage development partners, the government, and whoever we can get to be able to support businesses to come back on their feet. Because as I mentioned earlier, over 80% right now as we speak, maybe they don't even have hope of resuming their businesses because they have closed down due to overhead costs that are extremely too high. So we are engaging with development partners, and we are hoping that something can come up. And I'm glad to mention that one of the strategies we've been chasing with the Development Bank and the European Union has come through. But unfortunately, the funding may not be enough for everyone. It is going to benefit a few companies as we continue to lay more strategies to get other development partners to come on board and be able to support these companies. So some of the strategies we are pushing for are like requesting for the government to relax some of the taxes, those monthly costs, so that by not paying these monthly costs, we are able to have companies survive and be able to gain and get back on their feet. And then also we are pushing for relaxation of maybe loans. There are some companies that had very huge loans that we are helping them to operate in terms of doing their marketing and promoting their businesses. So we are looking at talking to banks to at least give us a grace period whereby these companies are allowed to come back on their feet. Because as I speak Uganda right now, the airport is still closed. We are hoping and looking forward to maybe October that the airport will be operational. But as it gets to open up, you listen to one of our panelists saying that in their country they are still closed. That is Canada. So as we open up, there are some countries that are still closed. So what is going to happen to the businesses? So we are leveraging on whatever we can get to be able to support companies to come on board. And we request that we continue to engage in each other and asking even the companies themselves, the tour operators, to come consult with us so that we can do this together and at the end of the day come up with strategies that can support them. But like I said earlier, what we are doing mainly right now is promoting partnerships with the development partners and the government to see which one can come in first and be able to help our visitors. At the moment, our national parks are open. Primate safaris are open for everybody to come and visit. So as we open our airport, I would request that we leverage on regional tourism, because some of our neighbors have very many visitors from our country. So can we also leverage on having these countries coming in to visit? So as Africa, we need to join hands and be able to promote each other, because we have the biggest numbers that can be able to visit each other, because somebody in Europe may not know what is happening in Africa, but somebody in Zambia or Mozambique will be able to know what is happening in Uganda or East Africa. So if you're pitching to somebody who is already cognizant of how the operations in these countries are happening, it is easier to convince them to visit. Because at the moment, after we have all opened up, I'm very sure very many clients are going to be very skeptical to visit. So it is easier to convince like-minded people. So I would think that one of the things we should push mostly for is to promote regional tourism as much as possible, as long as together with our domestic tourism. And this, I'm sure at the end of the day, will be able to get us back on our feet slowly, because we cannot bounce back immediately. It's going to take a little bit of time. But I'm very sure that we are going to get there, because tourism is the way to go, and everybody is looking very much forward to being able to travel again. And then we also engage the policymakers that as these companies are coming on board, what kind of policies are in place to support their businesses for steady growth, because it's going to take a little while to come back. So as we are pushing for all these policies, we can also bring in issues of sustainability. One of the things I normally mention is like the use of single-use plastic. We are having our water and environment choked with plastics. So we can kick out one of the tips I can give to operators. You can have your own water bottles that are reusable and brand them with your company name, so that if you give it to your client for free, they are able to go out there and promote your company for free at the end of the day. So it is very simple. Kick out the plastic that is single use, create a bottle, brand it with your company name, so that another whoever uses it, wherever they will go, your company will be marketed for free at zero cost actually. So those are some of the few things we can work on slowly by slowly to be able to support businesses and for all of us to bounce back into business. Thank you, Rosette.
Yes, thank you so much, Gloria. I was about to cut you short, sorry. But you did really great. Thank you so much for the great work you guys are doing with World Bank. And I think as operators, we're going to have to benefit a lot. Please don't forget us. And so we need to tell the world that the pandemic came as a blessing in disguise. We have had so much of a baby boom with all our primates, the mountain gorillas, the rhinos. My friend was telling me the other day, even baboons are so many on the roadside. Like Amina, who has been to Maction Falls and Queen, you can testify to that. So everybody is welcome to join us. And we hope that by 1st October, the airport will be able to open. I'm very sure Amina will be the first on the plane to come to Uganda. So thank you so much, Gloria. And now we are going to have Amina tell us what you think is the strategies to restart tourism briefly, as in the interest of time, so we have some time for the question and answer.
Absolutely. So Gloria made some great points there, and I'll come back to them. And Gloria, I will be reaching out to you. But what I've been doing is from day one, religiously blogging. Every Monday I release a new blog, and speaking about various aspects about Uganda, our tour, our teaching program with the girls, and I'm always mentioning my partners in Uganda so that it's sort of an opportunity to promote them locally, because even if we can travel tomorrow, and yes, I'll be the first one on the plane, we can't really come until we know that we're not quarantining for 2 weeks. So that's our biggest problem. But in the meantime, by continuing to promote our travel, our partners in ground, that's key, because it gives them opportunities to get promoted and spoken about. I also seek out speaking opportunities. I'm very lucky because of the girls training. People come to me to interview me, do podcasts with me. I've been written about, I've had a lot of press. So that's helping me to promote Uganda, but also the work that we do there and here. I've reached out to local, international, and national partners, tourism boards, to see how we can cross-promote each other. It's been difficult in Uganda because I'm not able to register there for certain reasons. So by doing it with Rwenzori Safaris, we can sort of help them to get a foothold, a better foothold in the industry. And reaching out to people who've expressed interest in coming to Uganda and offering a no-risk booking option. So if they reserve a spot, they don't have to pay a deposit. If we can't go, they just take their name off the list. But that gives them the opportunity to say, ooh, I want to go to Uganda. I don't want to pay because I don't know what it's going to look like, but I want to get my name on the list because it's a small list. And so that way it keeps the tour and the trip top of mind. And it helps us to kind of meet them where they're at, because with COVID, even if the airport's open, you don't know that we'll be traveling in a month, 2 months, 3 months. And if I'm giving my money to somebody, it's money that I can't put somewhere else locally. So this gives them that opportunity, but also makes us look like we've got their interest at top of mind as well. Ensuring that safety protocols, no matter where we travel to, are top of mind. So regarding who we stay, like the lodges, the hotels, the restaurants, the excursions, that everybody, even though it's open, still is keeping the COVID safety protocols top of mind so that everybody is secure and safe as we travel throughout Uganda. Because it's not like here where we can constantly be testing people. So we need to make sure that from A to Z, we have those protocols in place, and that our partners that we choose to stay, visit, or remain with also have them. And then I just continue to promote. And so a good point was made by that when we travel, we bring our own bottles. We bring metal straws for everybody. So we bring metal bottles that retain the cool or the heat. And we don't brand them at this point, but we bring them for each participant or each traveler, and we make sure that everybody has a metal straw. But we also bring them for the girls that we teach. We also bring them for each tour provider that we visit, because if we can promote these products globally, then you're taking plastic out of the environment. You're taking garbage out of the environment, and that's a huge thing that we all have to keep top of mind. And the last thing is, I've been approached by many people on Travel Massive, which I'm very grateful for, to say, hey, how can we help you promote your girls Cameras for Girls program? And because I'm not in Uganda, it doesn't always work. So then what I do is I then push on the program to my local partners in Uganda who can participate, who can promote themselves through these platforms. So it's sort of a 360 approach that everybody supports each other, everybody benefits.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Amina. Thank you. We are so proud again for your social impact and empowering women, especially women in tourism and journalism, photography. It makes a whole lot of difference to these young women, and together we have a better world and better communities. Absolutely. Yeah, it's true. We're in very unprecedented times, and but it's true. We know that tourism has always been resilient, and hopefully things will get better, and we are back on the road, and we'll be fine, I hope, soon.
You will be.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Again. Yes, let's now hear from Seth. Seth, if you are still here. Yes, you still are. Hi again.
Hi, Rosette. Yeah, I just had
we like to, in the few minutes left, we would like to hear you tell us about the strategies for tourism recovery.
Yeah, I'm really grateful for the points made by Amina and Gloria, and my sister from Zambia. More or less, these recovery strategies are identical, or they tie to one another. So first thing first, as a tour operator, you need to really watch your costs. You need to see your costs. Times are not favoring making. There are costs you cannot. I'm not telling you should close your office, but as Gloria said, cut costs as possible as you can. Cut lighting costs, cut printing costs, cut here and there, and try and make sure you control your cash flow as smooth as you can. This is going to, because we all know it's not been an easy ride since the beginning. The other thing I want to emphasize on is to consider a transparent, consistent, and sustainable way of communicating our protocols, our safety protocols. And this I say because I see a lot of platforms, websites, and and social media, media houses, they emphasize on individuals and companies communicating their safety protocols to their clients, and I don't see it much happening with tour operators. So it is a good selling point. It is a good because the times we are in requires this transparency, this consistency. So draft your safety protocols, publish them, and let every client, as Amina said, know they are safe when they travel with you. The other one I think should be how about people customize it and then use this time to increase their visibility, their online visibility, their social media visibility. They've been taking beautiful pictures on safaris, on track, on all those tours they've had, but they never had the time to really create and put out the good content. So this is the time. So, and it's going to be to keep your company awake, to keep you on top of the game. So keep visible, keep there, keep up. And I think those three could make you come up. I don't want to talk about the government support because Gloria talked about it. We all need that push up, and if you can access it, it will be well and good. But in case you're not able to access that financial support, use the little you have wisely.
Thank you so much, Seth, and that was really wonderful to hear. And I hope the rest of the people can also benefit from it as much as I will benefit from it myself. And we will have our last panelist, who is Patience from Zambia. If Patience, please, we'd like to hear what Zambia is doing to restart tourism, and how are you doing it from your side? How best can we learn from you? Please share.
Okay. Thank you so much, Rosette. Okay, thank you also to other panelists. It's good to hear from how other countries are doing as well. Yes, so Zambia, like I said earlier on, Zambia is open. We're open for travel. We published our safe protocols. We're safe. Everyone is welcome. The restrictions are like you have to provide. You come with the SARS PCR negative certificate. You have to obtain that certificate 14 days before you travel. Yes, but some airlines have a policy of 72 hours before travel. But for us as a country, for coming to Zambia, you need to have that COVID-19 test negative certificate. You have to get it 14 days prior to travel. Then observe all the safety, healthy and safety guidelines, masking up, hand sanitizing, social distance. Yes, and also all the accommodation establishments, hotels, lodges, they're also following all those safety protocols which were launched recently. So we are open. The airports were open in June. Zambia is a landlocked country, so most of the countries are already started closing down for when the COVID-19 broke out. So, and that's why we remained with one airport. We've got 4 international airports, and one airport, Kenneth Kaunda International Airport, was still remained open. And now all airports have been opened. All the 4 airports are open, and all tourists, travelers are welcome, provided we follow all the healthy regulations. Yes, and stay safe. Yeah. So on the strategies that we are using, everyone has said already, we are talking about regional tourism, domestic tourism. That's the way to go, because we don't know when this pandemic will end, and at the moment the vaccine has not yet been found. So almost everyone is scared to travel. Apart from that, different countries have got different regulations. Yes, so we are focusing on domestic tourism. We're encouraging everyone, the Zambians, the local ones, to explore the country, to visit our country. And also we're open also to other travelers, and we're looking for regional tourism as well. Yes, in the meantime, whilst we're waiting for everything to ease down. But as you may see, Rosette, from the time the pandemic started now, 9 months ago, it's slowly eased down. Slowly, other countries have also started easing down their regulations. So, which is also hoping that maybe international tourists would start coming. But yeah, at the moment, we just like on domestic and regional tourism, and all tourists are welcome. International tourists, provided they come with SARS-CoV-2 PCR test negative. Yeah, yes, so, and they won't be quarantined. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Patience, and it's good to know that Zambia is safe for travel, and very soon you have people visit you or we visit you, and we are glad to know that you are doing greatly to restart tourism in Zambia, and I hope the rest of the other African countries or the world can learn from what you are doing and the rest of the panelists. Thank you so much. I am the chapter leader again for Travel Massive Uganda together with Hannah Bamwerinde. She'll come up next. And we are currently 226 members, and we hope to continue growing as we impact our communities sustainably. And we ask you to please share with the rest of the people. If you know Ugandans who are travel and tourism enthusiasts, ask them to join us. We're a very wonderful community that's growing every day, and we want to continue making a difference in the lives of one another and to grow together. So for those of you who are not able to watch us live today, we would like to inform you that you can watch us. This event is recorded. You can be able to watch a recording later on all our Travel Massive platforms and YouTube channel. And so we want to thank you so much for watching. And for those who have questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat box. We're going to be able to get back to them right after now with our panelists. And for those who would like to donate to our event to make this kind of events happen again today and tomorrow, please feel free to donate to our event. We'll be very grateful and happy to have you. So now we will have Hannah back as we go into question and answer. Hannah, you're welcome again.
Thank you. Thank you, Rosette, and thank you for that fruitful discussion so far. I will go right into the comment section, and I'm seeing here Andrew Wade. You say hello, you're in the UK and you were planning a 6-month trip to Africa, but sadly it was cut off. So sorry, and we're looking forward. The airport is open. Hopefully you will be able to do it soon. And Shane Dallas says greetings from Kenya. Greetings. Hello, how are you from Uganda? Bruce Swagat says greetings from Tokyo. Hello, how are you? Greetings from Uganda. And I think I saw a question, and the question is from Shane Dallas. She says, when tourism reopens, there appears to be interest in people visiting places away from overcrowded tourism spots. How can Africa benefit in this new interest in visiting different destinations? In the interest of time, I'm going to just pick on the spot. And since Gloria, you're in charge of tour operators, I'm going to bring you back on to quickly give us some insight as we wrap up on this.
Thank you, Hannah. As we plan to open, I'd like to let you know that our members are really diligently putting in place SOPs that are going to be able to maintain safety for the clients. And some of them are limiting the number of staff that are accompanying clients, limiting the number of people in the vehicles. So actually, one of the procedures we have in Uganda for the visiting, like for instance, the gorillas and the chimpanzees, we have limited numbers. So as we work towards keeping client safety, we are actually going to cut down some of the numbers so that the numbers that go to visit these protected areas are limited as much as possible, and then we can always ensure their safety. And the Uganda Wildlife Authority has made sure that all the entrances to these protected areas have all the facilities to ensure safety of clients. Things like social distancing are maintained, sanitizers at the entry point, and the staff that are carrying out all these have always put on protective gear, and the clients are really safe. And we continue to re-emphasize that we all work together to maintain safety of each other. Both the clients and us who are bringing them in, we need to continue promoting and making sure that our clients are safe. And at the end of the day, tourism will generally bounce back if no more cases are created, especially from the visits there that are being done by our clients. Thank you, Hannah.
Thank you, Gloria, for that very insightful advice that seems that will work. I'm sure that if we emphasize it in Uganda, because you know how the policies are, when we emphasize it, we will see some progress, definitely. And in the interest of time, it's already 1 hour and we are going overboard in time. I will bring back Rosette as well to just give some parting shots as we leave. And we want to say a huge thank you. Thank you so much, wherever you're tuning in from all over the world, for our first event. Thank you so much. We want to thank you so much for being with us and for supporting our cause and supporting and for all the panelists. We want to say a huge, huge thank you. Amina, Gloria, Seth, and Patience. We want to say thank you so much. Rosette?
Yeah, we are running out of time, but I just want to quickly ask this simple question from well, I don't know how simple, from our audience to Amina before you go. The audience is wondering, like, how do you see tourism in the next 3 to 6 months from now? What do you think? How do you see it evolving? What do you think is going to happen? Please, if you can briefly give us some ideas and then we'll wrap.
Oh, can you hear me? Yeah, sorry. I'd be honest, it's a very hard question to answer. If I had my crystal ball, I would say that it could be anything, right? It all depends on how COVID moves across the world. Unfortunately, and not to be, rude about it, we live next to the US. So because their numbers continue to climb at an alarming rate, and it's out of control, and there is no protocols to keep it under control, we're directly affected. So when I say we're closed, but unfortunately the government is letting anybody with dual citizenship, double passports, to travel back and forth. So our numbers are now starting to rise in Canada again. So until we get a complete handle on this and we don't see incremental rise, we're not going anywhere for the short term or the long term. So when I'm projecting when we can travel as a company back to Uganda and keep our people safe without having to quarantine, I'm looking at possibly next August, and at the earliest. I'm hoping it's earlier, but realistically, as the world starts to open up, I believe that we'll probably have a second wave, unfortunately. And living in the Northern Hemisphere where it's already cold, the virus seems to love the cold. And we're also just entering flu season here in Canada. So combine that and it's just going to exponentially increase. So I think what I can continue to do is to support the partners that I have and the ones that I'm gaining, such as yourselves, in promoting you from afar, so that when the regional, when the national opens up, you can capture those people with proper protocols in place, but being able to provide them with what they're looking for. As Seth said, it's gearing towards what that traveler is looking for and giving them basically what they need instead of the other way around, offering what we think they need and being disappointed in the end. Because COVID has changed how we travel, how we are going to be experiencing things. So I hope that answers the question, but I wish I had a crystal ball, but yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I mean, I realize how difficult that question is, and it's not something I can just straight away head to the answer, but you've given us quite great understanding of it, and we're very proud to have that. So from us, myself and Hannah, we want to say thank you so much again, right from here, Uganda, the Pearl of Africa, the home to the half of the mountain gorillas, and the home to the river Nile.
Yes, the source of the Nile. The source of the Nile.
Yes, thank you so much for being a part of us, our dear panelists and our dear audience. Thank you so much to Travel Massive for making this happen. We are super, super proud to have this. From us in Uganda, it is Toyanziza, Toyanzege, mwebale nnyo, mwebalire ddala. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.